Action. Activate.
Hello and welcome to this late edition of Action Activate. I am Gazbot, and with me as always...
The Big Dawg Defender.
That's right, the Big Dawg Defender. Now, it is late because it is about 7 o'clock. We normally start at 5. That's my fault. I had scheduling issues, and we almost were going to postpone the show, but then we might not have done this week, and so we wanted to get it out now while it's fresh. The season finale, we got a lot to talk about. So we're here to do it, and we're going to do it with each other and for you. That sounds weird. We're going to have a good time is what I meant.
What he's trying to say is the finale is so impactful. I didn't even wear a hat today. That's how intense.
You know, I didn't even realize what looks so different. You have a nice part to the side. You're looking very dapper.
Oh,
so did your hat fly off as you were watching it? Was that what happened?
Some people were on the edge of their seat. Some people had their hats blown off. Powerful Morphex related explosions. We'll dive deeper into.
I appreciate that. I did not have a hat to fly off. I wasn't on the edge of my seat, but it did knock my socks off, you see. So, and it looks like we do have a few people in chat. We got Matt Kendall Clare, Aki Dragu, and The Real Babu. So, hello to everybody. And Aki Dragu thinks you look good without a hat. So, hey, take that into consideration.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. Sorry we're running late, but like I said, better late than next week. So, without further ado, let me pull up the little slideshow thing.
Mild further ado, I want to take this moment and say, congratulations, Gazbot. We've made it through our first Power Rangers season on Action Activate.
That is true. Good. Well, almost. I mean, it's kind of true. Once we finish this episode, that would be true, except we know that there is the Christmas special still.
Nope. This is the end of the season.
Okay.
This counts.
All
Christmas special, ancillary.
All right, we did it. We did it. One full season.
We did. Boom! Before 2020, we got it done.
It's true.
Congratulations.
I haven't counted the episodes. I should find out how many episodes we've done because we've done more episodes than they have, obviously.
Yeah, I want to say we've done
like 30 or 40, maybe.
Oh, at least 40, I believe.
Yeah, we should do something for like 50 or 100. Like when we hit a milestone, we should do something. I don't know what, but that being said, we'll talk a little bit more at the end, assuming we have time. But let's jump into the episode.
Let's get her done.
Generally speaking, you feel positive about it?
Yes.
Me too. I will say, well, we're gonna get into it, but I'll say this: I liked it. It was good. Yes. It was quite good. In a weird way, I liked the previous episode more.
Same.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those weird things, without getting too into the nitty gritty, where both had a lot of important things happen.
Yes.
But the delivery in the previous episode, and I guess the unknown of what we were going to get in this one, made me like it more. Whereas this one, once everything got resolved or didn't get resolved, as the case may be in some parts, it was like, okay.
Right.
Like, we got those answers.
That's true, because there's the expectation, too. Like, we were all, like, us and chat, and everybody was spitballing, oh, what's Roxy going to do? Is she going to be the new Yellow Ranger? Oh, is Devin's dad going to be this? And, like, and it's fun to have all these fan theories. And 99% of the time, whether it's this or Star Wars or whatever you're into, the fan theories are always going to be way crazier, way more out there than what actually happens. Yeah. And such was the case with this. Not that it was terrible or horribly disappointing or anything like that, but I think after last episode, I was already excited, and then we did the show, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be amazing! And it was very good. It was very good, but not as
I think it was good. Few gripes, more just kind of in spots. Yeah, there weren't any
like that.
Like shrug worthy,
but
like
many. So
certain parts, like that was the kind of like worst case scenario, minus like one or two things that we'll get into. But let's quit just beating around the bush and
True.
Get her going.
Real quick, Aki Drago says the main issue is that the pacing was better in the previous episode, and I tend to agree with that.
Yep.
So this is called Evox Upgraded, which is, I guess, episode 20, depending on the numbering. A few people have told me, like,
21.
No. Yeah, some people have said it's definitely this, because according to Wiki, but just the way things were, it came out a little weird. But so Evox Upgraded, and we start, it's weird, and I like this. The Grid Battle Force is building the Cybergate that Skrullsla had built, and it still looks all kind of janky and evil, and it's just like, it's a good juxtaposition. So I did enjoy that, like, we flipped everything, and now they're like in the ghetto position of like, we don't have the means to do this, and
Mm-hmm.
And so also
running on fumes kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, I thought this was interesting but odd that we had Nate suited up without his helmet off. Now, we've seen this before, but it's just odd because he's doing technical stuff and working on computers, and it's like, why is he morphed up?
Yeah, it was kind of the first somebody do an account on YouTube or this, but like I saw them in their suits. It was odd. It was especially off-putting with Steel.
I was going to say that because it makes it so obvious that his head wouldn't fit in the helmet, which if it's a magical transformation, doesn't matter. But to imagine him actually taking the helmet on and off, it's like, that doesn't, Red Lab who says one F.
I was okay with it. It helps another point in a little bit, which is why they probably did it.
I agree.
And also because we just didn't get a lot of it this season.
Right, and it is nice to sometimes see that. It was just Nate and Steel bothered me more than the other Rangers because, we'll get to. Here we go. So the mayor comes in, and he had found out his son was the Red Ranger, and he's like, "What are you doing to get my son back? I can't believe you never told me." Blah 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 blah. They never really addressed why they didn't tell him. You notice that? They're like, "Well, sorry, Mayor, but we're gonna get him back. Don't worry." And then he's like, "Do you know what it's like to have your son in danger?" And she's like, "By the way, here's Robbie, my son." And so, speaking to the point you just made, having them come in, that's why they had the suits without the helmets. But Zoe and Ravi coming in could have been just coming from a battle or training or something that makes sense. Steel and Nate are very clearly just hanging around. And if they're not needed to be morphed, why wouldn't they just demorph? So that's...
Yeah.
And I do like seeing the Rangers in that mode. It's fun to like connect the suits with the actors like that, but it just felt awkward with the two of them working science-y stuff doing that.
I agree. Where I can't even come up with a good explanation. I was going to say it's because they needed their extra power that they would get when they're morphed. But Steel seems to be just as strong not morphed, and Nate wasn't doing any heavy lifting. So there's
maybe it's like they have to be ready to jump through the portal at a moment's notice, but then they still have to put their helmet on, and like I don't know, they make it seem like morphing theoretically could be instantaneous. We might see all the stuff, but when they need it to be, it's like that. So it's a nitpick, but as you say. In chat real quick, Matt Kineclair saying hello. Aki Drago said, I mean, Doggy Kruger exists. Why are you surprised? Well, no, I understand the suspension of disbelief, and I haven't seen SPD, as those that watch for a while know, but I understand that his head has a big snout and then it gets in a flat mask. But again, if it's some sort of magic or super science where it's like in a pocket dimension, fine. But there's something about pulling the helmet off and then seeing how it doesn't fit. It just seems weird. And maybe I'll say the same. Yeah, maybe I'll say the same thing when I see SPD. But I would almost love it if they did address that and they had him about to put the helmet on and it was like, and there was like an energy like, and it like made it like fit in with like some sort of like the TARDIS, but they've never really done that. But yeah, so again, this is a minor nitpick, but
speaking of minor nitpicks, the thing in all Power Rangers, not just specific to this season, that like kind of bothers me for the suspension of disbelief is when we see them just casually helmetless but morphed, where it's like, okay, if you guys are doing that now, then you've established that there's no reason you should ever not be morphed. Like that you should just be morphed all the time.
Well, it's probably draining power from the Morphex battlefield or
Then why are they doing it right now?
Well, again, that was the question. Why they don't do it all the time makes sense. Why are they doing it now is the question. And I could see if they were morphed, like I said, with Zoe and Ravi running in from something outside or training or whatever, and they just like...
Just Steel.
For you?
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
We're not arguing.
You get one too.
We can't do that. Then every time we agree, we give ourselves Ninja Steel points.
Yeah, we get to pat each other on the back and be like, I agree. Fine points, Ninja Steel.
I disagree on that. Hey, what's up, Kyle Goldfinch? Showing up at the late show. Appreciate that. So Ben and Betty back in some tech-looking suits, which I prefer. Well, I don't prefer that all the time, but when they're working, I like it.
Yep.
And they've been working on it, and it's established again that they're somewhat scientific. They're kind of jack of all trades, whatever. They come out and they're like, boom, we got it working. And we see for the first time, like we as viewers have seen the evil dimension of cyber evil a million times, but this is the first time in universe that the heroes have seen it at the edge of the gate here. And so that's kind of a cool dramatic moment. And going back to what I was saying about Scrozzle having been the one that designed it, it's got like teeth, like unnecessary, but like I'm evil. It looks like a big mouth, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Aki Dragu says nobody gets Ninja Steel. I agree. Matt and Claire, both Kyle and I relate to the Late Show. Yeah, but only by a few minutes. You didn't miss much. So now we have a moment where Betty is looking at it and is like not 100% stable, and I'm thinking like, are they gonna try to do a comedy bit here? Like this is all so serious and dire.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Betty, get back. And she's like, no, I gotta look at this for some reason. And in my mind, I'm like, here's what they're going to do. Again, they're going to set it up like hijinks are going to happen, and she's going to get sucked through. Then they'll have to save her, or she'll do some cool stuff. Like, this is a moment for her to be, like, really involved. Kind of like last episode where they were doing hijinks, but they were running from real threats and giving, information to the Rangers. I'm like, it's going to be a situation like that.
Yep.
But what happens instead is this, where she gets pulled in and even right here I thought she was getting pulled in and it was just gonna be like a weird graphic effect of like whoop,
Yep.
but she just gets all like wobbly and like weird kind of plug-in CGI effects, and then she's doing it outside. And here's the thing, it's weird. As an adult, I'm like, that's just weird CGI effects that they're doing to make it kind of be funny. But if I was a kid, this would terrify me, because it's like this body dysmorphic like horror of like, what's happening? Is she gonna be okay ever? Like, it was weird. Like, I feel like they should have just went their normal, hey, it's a goofy thing, or made it serious. But they kind of made a serious thing goofy, if that makes sense. How do you?
I've had the same face to describe how I feel.
Do you want to sum it up as a eh?
We can do it at number 2, but the biggest problem I have with Ben and Betty,
okay,
and we've said this all season, and it's culminated here, is they give us these glimmers of just positive character development and like payoffs.
Right.
And go help fix the gate to the evil dimension of cyber evil, get sucked through, new plot point, awesome. Nope, we're going to have her be all goofy. And at first I was like, I'm not going to let this bother. I literally thought this as I was watching. I don't like this. I'm not going to let it bother me and distract me from the episode. Whatever. It's fine. We'll forget about it. We don't forget about it.
No, we don't. We don't forget about it. It probably is my least favorite part of the episode.
No, the other part I hate more than this, but this is tied for second least favorite part.
All right, well, we'll see when we get there. In chat, it says, let's see. Oh, wait, we missed a bunch here. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Nobody gets Ninja Steel. So Kyle Goldfinch says, so the Rangers can breathe in the cyber dimension?
Yes.
Yep, it's been established. I guess it's like space. Kyle Goldfinch, does anything else think Silver looks weird in that picture? I think he means the one we were talking about before.
Yep.
Aki Dragu, she gets powers. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think it was just for the gag.
Yeah,
Kyle
that
Goldfinch,
was the thing that I was thinking of. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, we're so far behind. They were talking about Steel's helmet. Yeah. Real Babu says, I don't see them with weapons, big dog. Truth. Tuez. And then Matt and Claire, it's comic book goofy is the best way to describe it. Cartoon goofy, I would say, because comics, I read comics, and that's goofier than most comics.
I guess the only thing I can equate it to for those who watch CW's The Flash, Elongated Man has this weird, goofy kind of physical humor that way, just because his powers are that way.
But that's
what I was reminded of.
And I haven't seen him in that, but I know the character, and like he's kind of a goofy character in an otherwise somewhat serious world.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what they are too, but it's more his. Yeah, whatever. I don't want to keep dwelling on this.
Yeah.
Kyle Goldfinch says, I'm the only one who thinks that Ben and Betty need to be way more professional. Yeah, that would be nice, but that's not really my biggest problem with them.
Yeah, I have no problem with what they do. I have a problem with what happens to them.
Yeah, and Kyle and Matt Claire are basically discussing the balance of adorable goofiness to professionalism. And Matt Claire says, nice reference to Defender. I wanted to make that reference too. So there you go. So the peril is crazy, but she's immediately okay. Like once she gets out, it wears off. And I do like that Ben runs over and hugs her, like, "Oh my gosh, Betty, I was so scared for you," because that was a scary moment, and he appropriately does. And then we get a hug. I talked about a lot of the episodes ending with hugs. This episode, I think, has like 4 or 5 hugs throughout the whole thing, which doesn't bother me, but it's just like it's noticeable that like everybody's getting real emotional and stakes are high.
Because we get all the rules.
Yes.
Wait.
I do like that her reaction though is like it's cool being stretchy. They started doing this kind of recently where something crazy happens and she's super into it, like an adrenaline junkie. I like that. And if they continue that, like it kind of makes me not mind it as much because then it's like she's almost out looking for trouble because she enjoys it, you know?
It still bothers me.
I just like her reaction. I think her reaction is funnier than everything else.
100% fair.
Now Ravi's like, okay, well it's unstable and you can see it sparking behind him, but we got to do something. We can't wait. I'll go through. He says somebody has to go through with this beacon, then everyone else can follow. And she's like, it's dangerous. She's like, well, someone has to take the chance. And boom, here comes Mr. Mayor. He might not be the Red Ranger, but he's acting very Red Ranger-y. And he's like, you're right. Someone has to do it. Yoink, and goes in. And yes, he's the mayor, but it kind of makes sense because he's the father, so he's protecting his son. And to be kind of more calculating, he is more expendable than any of the Rangers because if he doesn't make it back, if he gets hurt, that's terrible. But they didn't lose a soldier. Whereas if Ravi or Zoe or somebody gets hurt, then they've lost power. Let's see. There's from directing. Oh wait, wow, we're missing a lot of. There's a lot of chat. You guys, the late show is very chatty. We should do more late shows more often.
Kyle Goldfinch. Yes. Adorable but professional. I think that's better than just work. About Kendall Clare, nice reference. I want to make that too. Real Babu, more Ez or hugs this episode? My money's on Ez.
We'll see.
What else? Kyle Goldfinch, from a directing standpoint, the whole reaction could have been seen as overreacting or as overacting. Maybe I think it's appropriate.
I think it's appropriate too. I don't think
Dragu. Oh, sorry.
I think when Ben and Betty overact is when I like them the best, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it just fits them more, and it feels more organic, which is kind of like a conundrum in itself.
Yeah.
But Akijagu said, I agree with Gazbot. It doesn't feel mean-spirited. Kyle Goldfinch, does anyone think Robbie helmetless is absolutely sexy? I'm not going to say that nor agree with it, but to each their own.
I mean, he's a good-looking guy. I don't. He's not my type, but yes, he is an attractive man.
Akijagu, I do. Gaz is one, or Gaz. Jazz.
Well, both. It could be both. Why not both? Hey. Yeah, Jazz. I can't pronounce his last name. Bullwalder or whatever. I can't pronounce his last name. Yeah, the figure. That's one of the few Lightning Collection I don't have yet. I've kind of been waiting for it to go on sale because I know it's common. And the likeness is great. But I thought the likeness on Nate and Devin were good too. Like all the Beast Morpher actors, I wonder if they got their heads 3D scanned because they've all been coming out really good. And my only complaint with Nate is I wish he had his glasses, as you can see here. Because even he's helmetless, and so I'm actually going to try to find a pair of glasses from Clark Kent or something and put them on there. Because
I have a pair of sunglasses, but actually I may have a Breaking Bad figure that I could try. That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. So this is their
steal.
It was my. You just throw. It makes no sense. It was my idea, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take your.
Back here? It's on the ground. It's out of camera, but the rules are on the ground. They're gone. Finale.
Well, anyway, so they're reacting. They're like, okay, we got to go through, and they're just like, yeah, that's he got the signal. We're good to go.
Mayor
Good
Daniels,
job.
boom, yes. Superman's his way through.
Now we're back here in the Cyber Evil, and we see that Evox, this is where we ended last episode, is getting reformatted into a new body. And if you've looked at the toy shelves in the last few months, you know exactly what that body's going to look like. If you've watched any of the episodes that were leaked months ago, you know exactly what that body's going to look like. But for the sake of, suspending disbelief, ooh, what's it going to be, And Blaze is there. And Blaze is weirdly, impatient. Like, come on! What's going on? It's like, we've been waiting for this all season, Blaze. What's another few minutes, buddy? It's
true.
Let's see. Akidrag, you can 3D print the glasses. Someone has done it. I'm sure I don't have a 3D printer, though. For me, it's going to be easier to find a junker figure and just cut them off and glue them on because I go to more toy shows than I do know people that have 3D printers. And Kyle Goldfinch says, I know this is kind of unrelated, but it is related. Why does Nate morph with his glasses? No one else is in the history of have we seen morph with glasses morph? Because isn't the morphing grid supposed to give someone perfect vision? I don't know. When Billy would take off his helmet, would he not have his glasses?
I think it would depend.
I guess I'm imagining.
At a certain point, they phased out his glasses, though.
He phased out his glasses. Actually, he talked about that.
Yeah,
The actor.
He had contacts.
No, but the actor David Yost said at some point, like I forget it was the movie or whatever, like he had like a new production team or a new director or something, and he just didn't put him on, and nobody said anything, and that was it. Billy didn't have glasses anymore, so he was like, great, because he hated wearing them. But as far as continuity, it does seem like if you're morphed, you should have perfect vision, but maybe Nate took the helmet off, and by taking the helmet off, his vision goes back to what it was, and he put his glasses on, which again, why makes no sense. Makes no sense, but I like my figures, my toys, whatever it's an anime, it's live action. I like it to represent the source material. So regardless of the logic, Nate always wears glasses. I want my Nate figure to wear glasses. That's what matters to me.
Agreed.
Thank you. So here we go. Then we cut to Devin, who's all chained up and he's being held by the Tronics. We knew he was there from last episode. And we see a brick fall. And here comes the mayor picking up a pipe and smashing the Tronic using strategy and strength. Once again, it wouldn't be the worst thing if he was a ranger because he's doing pretty well as a civilian. Although I guess technically he's a civilian servant because he's a civil servant. Anyway, I'll take a Ninja Steel for that. Ninja Steel. You're throwing around.
There's no rules.
Yeah, no rules. Nothing matters. Words have no meaning when all rules have been without
the
rules.
Cape of War. Well, if you think about it, if the cyber dimension of cyber evil is a planet, then words have no meaning there because stuff's going cuckoo, banana bread, cray cray.
Right. That's exactly how the quote goes. And let's see. Akudragu says, I mean, throwing away the glasses isn't productive. True, yeah. Macinoclair guessed the pipe is the new shovel. There you go. Good point. He just likes picking up like construction equipment or tools and using them.
I think he's just really good at the board game Clue, and he's used that as inspiration to.
So they're gonna do candlestick and
with the pipe in the garden, but then using the shovel to hit the Tronics in the cyber dimension for cyber evil, or however
you flip that. But yeah,
flip it and reverse it. There's no rules.
Kyle Goldfinch. Wow, that photo of Devin from the establishing shot was nice. They clearly have good cinematography. Yeah, I have liked that a lot. The American stuff has been good, and also a lot of the Sentai footage. The Zord battles are some of my favorite, mainly because of the camera angles in this season.
Yep.
So we cut to Nate, who is like, okay, we're never going to have enough power to defeat Evox and everything that's going on, so we need an Ultra Zord, and I've been working on plans for it. Now, I don't think we've talked about this too much, but generally speaking, the big dog is more a fan of the final Ultra Zord combinations, and I'm more a fan of the individual vanilla Zords. Right?
It is flipped and reversed in this season.
The design of the Ultra Zord in this, I think, is fine. It's not my favorite of all times. I think it's decent. It's good. I like the glowing eyes. But the way they do it, I liked. He's been working on it over time. They have a specific need for it, and he's like, let's go. I also like, I'm cutting here, Cruz is filling in for Devin because Devin's not there, but they've established that Cruz could run it, so great. And then they have this long sequence, and I even took a couple shots. Okay, let's disassemble everything, and we see it all coming apart. And it's a big deal. The whole hangar is filled with parts moving and reconfiguring in a brand new way, and they're taking their time to figure it out. And then finally, boom, it's assembled. And that's a cool shot. I almost never care about Ultra Zords. Like the first time or two, it was like, oh my gosh. But they made it mean something. They made it seem difficult and new and warranted and necessary. And so I give an A+ to this Ultra Zord unveiling. It actually felt earned and necessary, unlike other seasons where they're just like, oh, by the way, you're an Ultra Zord now for this random fight. Why not?
Yeah. Do you regret not getting the Ultra Zord on Prime Day?
I don't regret it because I'm still not sure I want it, but I want it more than I used to.
That's fair.
Yeah. We're missing a lot of chat. You want to catch up on chat for me?
Yes. Matt Kendall-Claire, I was also making a joke with the shovel was the standard non-ranger weapon in Dino Charge. Also true because they were archaeologists. Kyle Goldfinch said, still one of my favorite scenes, nice shooting text. And Matt Kendall-Claire agreed with Kyle Goldfinch.
All right, then. Well job. All right, so
I would say that the Rangers are coming together just as well, if not equal, to the team in the chat. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Your own Ranger team.
They have their own personalities and they disagree sometimes, but then they come
back
together.
And forth. Aki Dragu is coming in saying, one thing I like that they foreshadowed. One thing I like is that they foreshadowed it with a throwaway line before. That's true.
What line? I don't remember.
I forget what episode it was, but they were talking about if they could combine all the Zords and
oh yes,
we would need a lot of power for
that's
that,
true.
or all this.
Well, and again,
extra effort.
This is why it's good to have either a member of the team or a member of the support staff, like a Nate, like a Billy, like a Dr. K, because it makes more sense when things are being built and researched, and even if there's magic involved, there's still people tinkering with it. You know, like one of the complaints against Megaforce, which I understand, is Gosei is just sort of like, here's more stuff. Okay, here's more stuff. Here's the stuff, and
the entire season,
right? And so I could buy that he's, I guess, powerful and just manifests this stuff, but he's less powerful than Zordon, because Zordon created him, and then why didn't he give him? We know they're going to escalate over the course of the season. But make it be earned, make sense in some way, shape, or form. So just by having Grid Battle Force and then having Nate, anything they come up with, it's like, yeah, they've been working on stuff nonstop, and it makes sense that they have new stuff.
So here's the thing I'd like to pose to you. Now, granted, we all know that you haven't seen every season of Power Rangers, but is it?
I'm trying, guys.
No. I mean this in a good way.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that your favorite seasons all have Ranger technology as opposed to Ranger powers inherently?
No, it's not fair to say. What's my favorite season?
Samurai.
Well, no, Samurai is my sentimental favorite season, but what's my actual
Samurai is your favorite season? Jungle Fury.
Right, which is all mystic. But that makes sense too, because it's all martial arts based and chi based. And so they power things up, and actually one of my least favorite parts of that is when they get the new Zords for the second Megazord, because I hate the way that looks, and it's got a weird penguin that surfs, and so I love the Jungle Fury Megazord. I hate the second Megazord. So but yeah, some of my favorite seasons have nothing to do with science, but I do like RPM, I do like Lightspeed Rescue, I do like Beast Morphers, I like there's In Space, Lost Galaxy, all those. Put it this way, if the shows are equally good or bad or whatever, how I'm going to feel about them, if it's science based, I'm probably going to like it a little bit more because it explains some things.
Time Force?
I like Time Force, but not as much as everyone else does. I think it's a very good, solid season, but it's not one of my top favorites.
Does it have to do with any awkward interactions you had with any of the actors in the past?
No. I interviewed Michael Copon, and he was lovely and gave me time. It was very nice of him.
Don't worry, it wasn't that actor.
I think you might be referring to an awkward thing you had. Did we ever talk about this?
We were both there. I don't remember if we did.
Let's not get into it now, but for a future episode,
we'll
save
it for a future
episode.
Yes. If enough people remind us, because we will forget.
Yeah. I think we're missing some chat here.
One last thing before we jump into chat. I like in the background how for this shot, going back to the cinematography, how we see multiples of the weapons. Yes. One thing I love that they do, not only in this, but sometimes in anime or cartoons and stuff, is when people have multiple of the same weapons or switch weapons in a final battle where, once again, rules thrown out the window.
Yep.
So when I see the two gold and silver blades, I'm really imagining Nate or Steel dual wielding them and going through the battle.
Right.
You see Zoe jumping in the air with both.
Again, fan fiction better than what actually happens.
I know.
But talking about this just reminded me there is a scene that I like possibly worse than the Ben and Betty scene that we'll get to later.
Worse.
Huh?
That you like worse.
I like worse, yeah. I like it worse.
Would you say it's
No, it's ugh.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Let's catch up.
Yes.
Matt Kendall-Clare is saying that it should be the Activator Rangers. That's a possible working title.
Sure.
Kyle Goldfinch, this might be an unpopular opinion. I feel like Commander Shot is a bit too robotic. I agree. It almost feels too much robotic. Not as bad as Troy.
Oof. I think
I agree with you on all of those accounts.
Both her and Troy have a very kind of robotic wood, whatever you want to call it, stoic. Let's call it stoic.
Okay.
But it makes more sense for her because she's a military commander. I'm not saying that she has to be that way all the time. Maybe she takes it a little too far, but she's the mom to everybody, essentially. She has an actual child, and then she's responsible for everybody, so she's going to be a little bit terse. Troy, I think he was just an intense dude that didn't know how to handle emotions. I don't know. And then Robo Knight disappeared, and he kind of lost it. And
Robo Knight!
Which I understand. I do understand, because Robo Knight's my favorite part of that season, but, that, I don't know. Let's see. Kyle Goldfinch then says, give us a new Lightspeed sort of season. Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed Lightspeed as well. Matt Leclerc, I thought the Jungle Master Megazord, thank you, was a bit too bulky for a 3-Zord Megazord. Yeah, I didn't love it. I like their Master Mode suits, but that Megazord I didn't love. Kyle Goldfinch, spill Big Dog. Yeah, Big Dog. The production design is fantastic. We'll do an episode where we're just chatting and we'll talk about
that spill. Sorry.
about the Time
when
Force.
I saw you read Spill Big Dog, it was when I was taking a
spill
sip of water.
Spill
water everywhere. Chaos. There's no rules.
Oh my gosh. I love how much chat we're getting, but we're about a third of the way through the episode and we've only got a half hour left.
Trobo Night forever. That is one of the best hashtags I've seen that's Power Rangers related.
Trobo Night. I'm just going to skip. We saw Ravi dual wield last episode. True. Aki Drago said, Kyle Goldfinch, but Gaz, I feel now character design from. Hold on a sec. Kyle Goldfinch says, yeah, but Gazbot. I just feel now character change from Commander Straw. I mean, she softens from time to time. I'm not the one that really has a problem with her. Like, I'm kind of defending her as a military commander. I think she should be a little bit like that. Nice attempt at a Troy impression. All right, so let's get back to the episode. So she's like, okay, guys, are you ready to go? And she's talking to Ravi, and she's like, get him back, stay safe, because Ravi's effectively in charge now. Because he was kind of like the most experienced, so it kind of makes sense that command would fall to him when Devin's not there.
Yep.
No? Okay. And then we see our favorite little command assistant, the only other person that gets to talk in Grid Battle Force. We don't know her name, but she's had a few lines.
Someone's wife behind the scenes.
Maybe, or maybe somebody that's going to be more important next episode.
No, I thought that was confirmed by Kyle Wolf or by Matt Leclerc.
Oh, okay, yeah. Ninja Steel point.
Ninja Steel.
All right, so I am on a 2-shot still. Thank you very much. Let me go back. Boop. Sorry about that. Let me go back.
I thought it was just me, and I didn't want to say anything.
No,
because
sorry.
I'm always delayed when I see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Twitch.
So there's Commander Shaw. There's Ravi. There's the lady we're talking about, and now the teleport. I love that they use the Cyber Gate, and it has a crazy like evil green energy, and then we see the Ultra Megazord, or I guess Ultra Zord, land into the Cyber Dimension the same way that their Giga Drones land in the real world. Very cool. Again, they flipped everything. I think it's so cool. Like they're the underdogs. They're the ones invading. Really cool the way they did that.
I had some thoughts about this next fight.
Okay. So Blaze detects him coming in, and he's like, it's impossible. How could they be here? And Skrull's like, I don't know. But obviously they're there. And then he's like, send every Giga Drone we have. And I'm like, that's awesome. That is exactly the right response. Not send one enemy out and see what happens, or like, let's send some Tronics. No, we have a ton of Giga Drones. Send them out. And then here's the weight, and we see all the different models that we've seen throughout the season. And it's, obviously this is Sentai, but it's just so cool. Again, I love the eyes on this Ultra Zord. You know what? If the figure lights up in the eyes, that would make me want it more. I haven't looked into that, but I'm a sucker for light and sound. And if it's
Achilles heel for light and sound is something I love to this day. If I ever want to convince Gazbot to get something, he'll be like, I don't know, him and Ha, maybe throw an in once or twice.
Right.
And then if he sees lights and sounds, and here's the other thing, we go to a lot of different toy shows, conventions, things like that. If he sees that it has a possibility and he's like, I don't know if they work. If they work on the spot, it's over. He does a heavy sigh, hates to admit that I'm right, and just is like, please don't be too much money. I'm going to buy this. But I don't know what the price is. I think I got you with that on the SPD Megazord that one time.
Because I already had the original one, and then the SWAT one also had great light and sound, and I was like, yep, yeah, and that was cheap too. I don't remember how much it was, but it was definitely a good deal.
It was a good deal.
Yeah, well. My tech advisor Erzuki is asking me about biological consumption. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm gonna let you guys see. I'm gonna order on the show. Hey, large pie with onions, please.
Oh, I'm jealous. I haven't eaten either, and pizza sounds really good, and I'm definitely not eating it.
Part of the reason, like I said, my whole schedule is messed up, and part of that was I didn't eat. So theoretically, I should be eating now, but instead, I'm eating with you guys. I'm eating knowledge and whatever.
I would have eaten a half hour ago too, so I'm with you.
There you go.
We do it for the people.
For the people. So people are having trouble typing to each other, and then everyone's complaining about.
That's nice. Said Kyle Goldfinch.
There is a light and sound version of the Ultra Zord. I'm sure there is. A lot of times the sound is not amazing though. A lot of times it's like, "Hey Rangers, let's fight." That's not gonna get me. But if those eyes light up, that might get me. The price might stop me, but that'll make me want it. Right now, I'm able to not want it.
So here's a pro tip from your boy, the Big Dawg Defender.
Yo.
So I need a one shot.
I'm giving you one shot.
When it comes to buying figures, especially Power Ranger figures, there are trends. When it comes to this Ultra Zord, it's an Amazon exclusive, which is a great thing because Amazon has a lot of fluctuating prices throughout the year. So we saw it go down to $100 on Black Friday. This is a great sign. It retails for 160. That means that at that day they're willing to have it that low, and there's the possibility slash probability that they're going to get it that low, if not lower, in the future. If you're patient, if you wait and have a little bit of risk, you'll probably be able to get it for that, possibly even less. And that means that the Gazbot Knight is going to have this in his possession, hopefully before Labor Day 2020.
Here's the thing. You're right. It's like I would say it's like an 80% chance you're right. But then there's the 20% chance that it doesn't go on sale again. It stays the same price, goes out of production, and goes up in value because we no longer have Toys R Us and no stores carry it. It's only available through Amazon. Then I go to a toy show and see it for $200. I'm saying usually you're right that it does end up going down, and I got a Jetfire that way and a few other things, but it's not a guarantee. So if it's something you really want, think carefully.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's the question?
And this is going to be painful, so I apologize in advance.
Oh, okay.
Have we ever seen enormous Ultra Zord size Transformers at discount stores?
Once.
Let me rephrase. Not us. We, the general people.
Once. Trypticon is the only one.
No. Metroplex was at Costco, and Fort Max was also at Ross. We just didn't happen to see it.
Well, I never saw. Okay, I wasn't aware that happened, and you and I, where we live, will never see that. But more importantly, we are running out of time, and we're talking about Transformers toys instead of the episode. So.
Okay, final question. Yeah. Were any of the props and/or morphers put on sale and/or clearance?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the episode.
Okay, I'm right. Ninja Steel.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It had to do with the Ultra Zord argument.
No, we don't have time for this argument.
Speaking of the Ultra Zord, the Ultra Zord is fighting these Gigatrons a couple at a time, it looks like, due to, acting in space.
No, well, first thing he does is he fires a beam. They're firing at him, and then he comes in, like, kind of rolling with his spear and just plows through, like, 3 of them at once. I think cool. You were kind of saying that, but I think you're understating how awesome that was. Again,
it was cool.
I'm not an Ultra Zord guy, so the fact that I thought it was cool, I feel like this must be super cool,
It was cool. I liked how they showed how powerful this new combination was in this scene.
Yes.
That part's awesome. We'll get to my thoughts in the following
scene. People talking about pizza in chat. A lot of people having pizza. Hi, Dolly Girl. Welcome aboard. Cow Goldfinch. Gazbot is taking charge. Maybe. It's more like I'm like, come on. Cow Goldfinch. Hey, Big Dog. I'm sorry Gazbot is the Red Ranger of this relationship.
Whoa.
Wow. That's bad for everybody. Because he would much rather be a Red Ranger than me.
Oh, that was...
I see myself as a 6th Ranger, if anything. Sorry, Big Dog. Well, that kind of makes sense, because you're normally the Red Ranger, and you're in charge, and then all of a sudden the cooler guy comes in, and he's not necessarily in charge, but, little Tommy Jason action there,
Oh, man. You did it.
You heard him.
Goldfinch.
Cow Goldfinch. Ninja Steel point for Cow Goldfinch.
Speechless on the show. I don't think it's ever happened, and it probably will never happen again.
Well done.
Moment. Wow.
All right, so while he's speechless, Devin and his father are like...
Speaking of Red Rangers.
Yeah, hiding out from like everything going on, and Devin's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I had to come save you. And he's like, I didn't know you were the Red Ranger. And they have this heart-to-heart, which I think went really well. Because he's like, we haven't been seeing eye to... He's like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, well, it was against the rules, and we haven't seen eye to eye in a while. And he's like, yeah, you're right, but I was so wrong about you. I thought you were responsible. You're actually the most responsible in the world, and I love you and respect you. And Devin's like, oh, awesome, thank you. And they hug. 3rd hug of the episode, by the way.
Boom.
Yeah. Wait, is it the 3rd or the 2nd? Now I'm not sure.
I think it's 2nd.
Okay, 2nd. But I was fine with this. It didn't take too long. It wasn't too rushed. It addressed everything that had happened and resolved it. Paid off.
Not the Ultra Zord argument. It's brief and to the point.
Yes. Back to the Ultra Zord fight. This is another awesome shot. The glowing eyes. I think what I like about the glowing eyes is he's got this big monster thing in front of him. There's smoke. There's sparks. You don't know what's going on, but you see those eyes like, I'm coming for you. I dig it. I really dig it.
It was cool.
And then we get a couple shots of the various Rangers inside doing their things. Here's Zoe and everything. Again, he's coming through, blasting through some more Gigadrones, really showing how powerful he is. He's blasting through multiple Gigadrones. It's great. Then he's like, oh, by the way, that spear wasn't enough. We know you win fights with guns. Here's a gun.
Super Mega Blaster Cannon
and
Supreme.
just destroys everything. And again, awesome effects, great shot. But at the same time, Evox is finally getting finished baking in his Easy Bake Oven. We see a hand come out. Uh-oh, what's it going to be? And then we cut back to Devin and his father, who were trying to make it to the portal.
Is it an EZ Bake Oven or an Evox Bake Oven?
Oh, good. That's a Ninja Steel point. Old school.
Ninja Steel.
Yes, absolutely. I like how you're like Ninja Steel, and I'm like, toot toot.
All aboard the pun train.
Who likes fun? Chugga chugga choo choo.
Hey, wait, hang on. Did you see any rules around here?
No.
Me neither. It's the finale. There's none.
I know. I was wondering why window was open. I guess everything was thrown out there.
Where's the pizza? The onions are on it. No rule.
Calico Goldfinch, I'd like to thank Go Power Rangers crying intensely. God. Dolly Girl saying hi. Matt could declare, I think, second hug as well. Okay, so second hug. Two hug. Real Babu, keeping track. Second hug, second S. So they're tied right now. Matt could declare, beat me to it. Good Evox joke for Defender about the oven. I agree. So they see this going, and I think to myself, boy, that's not good. And they're like, that can't be good. So I was like, yeah,
that's pretty terrible.
Yeah. And we see it land. Boom. Small next to the Ultrazord. And it's like, oh, okay, that is a cool shot of the Ultrazord. Yeah, whatever. This episode is making me want it more. You're right. And he lands, and I thought he was going to be the same size, but he's small. And then we see him, and this is the Evox that again has kind of been spoiled. He's sort of like a yellow and black triangle thing with like pointy hands. I for some reason I thought the figure he looked somewhat cat-like, but it's actually more of like a skull face.
Yeah,
I don't love it. It's not. It kind of looks Monster of the Week.
It's a lot better on screen. But I also don't love it.
Well, the figure, doesn't have great paint apps. I don't hate it. It looks like an interesting Monster of the Week, not the big body of the final villain that we've been waiting for forever.
Which is why I think we see it in this episode.
Good point. So, but what I do like is I thought he'd be big or he'd grow big, and he fires a beam at the Ultrazord, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess he's going to try to fight him. No, we just got done seeing how powerful the Ultrazord is, and Evox, without growing, blasted apart. They're all shaking. Lightning's going everywhere. Everyone's freaking out. Nate's like, we're losing stability and cohesiveness. It falls to pieces. It doesn't even fall to the individual Zord pieces. It falls to pieces. They're all useless. Awesome. What a reversal. Actually, this is good foreshadowing. We do see the Racer Zord land, which I didn't catch until the second time around.
I definitely caught this.
Okay, I didn't catch that the first time around, but that's good foreshadowing. But again, it sets it up like, oh, the Ultrazord, most powerful thing ever. They prove it's powerful, and Evox comes in, and like the Emperor is just like, unlimited power, and knocks it right down.
I hated that one.
What? Wait, hold on. What did you hate?
So I'm going to give two parallels, Power Rangers related.
Okay.
So when it comes to this kind of trope in Power Rangers of new villain, big bad, takes out their most powerful thing. Okay. I like it. What I don't like is everything you said where we saw how great it was. It took a lot of build up and it took out all these Gigadrones. And Evox in his base form one-shotted the Ultrazord. What this shows me is that there is zero chance the Rangers can do anything if their Ultrazord gets one-shotted. Where this was done correctly was in Turbo at the end when they fought Goldface and they tried multiple ways of trying to take him out and they realized they can't and it builds to the demise. Whereas this, after this, I'm like, I have no clue what they're going to do. There's going to be some dumb MacGuffin that I don't like and that's going to solve this problem because there's literally nothing I can conceivably think of how they're going to beat Evox.
What if they do a transition? We know they're going to still use the Go Buster suits in Season 2. And there's footage with the Mighty Morphin suits and other things. What if they pull something? Oh, that's the answer right there. The team up with past Rangers. That's going to be how they beat him.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I think that would be awesome. If they're Godzilla. Maybe this puts them on their back foot. Well, they kind of, spoilers, they kind of win the day at the end of this, but we know it's not over. Yeah. So maybe the next season starts, so there's still some rumbling, and then they're kind of the underdog the whole season. Because this season they had the whole infrastructure, and they're very well prepared. It was very different from, other seasons. Yep. And maybe they're fighting this constant losing, like the Rebel Alliance in Star Wars. Like they're barely scraping by, and then they kind of figure out some plans, and past Rangers show up to help them, and that's how they finally win. I'd be totally fine with that.
We'll see how it goes. All
right. Well, I still like this because I think the fact that they set it up so well, how powerful they were, that it makes Evox seem unbeatable, like you said, which I like. I like the threat of a villain that's unbeatable, and like that's great. I want to be worried how are they going to win. I think that's good.
I think there's a good balance between fear with glimmer of hope versus omnipotent, zero chance of beating them.
Well, the glimmer of hope is that he like disassembled it, but it wasn't like reduced to a smoldering wreck that they could never use again. It could be repaired, and maybe if they were better prepared, they could like reinforce the cohesiveness of the joints to prepare for that particular attack or things like that. You know?
But the thing I don't like, if he can one shot with very minimal effort, we could see to take out their greatest weapon. When he sees them again, how are they not instantly done?
What did I just say? I just explained it.
I know. I'm saying, doesn't he see them again in this scene?
Yes, but they don't have the Ultra Zord, so they're.
I know. He should just wreck all of them.
You're right, but that's okay. Yes, but that is a complaint of every villain of every Power Rangers ever. Whenever they get the upper hand, they're like, now I'm gonna go fight the city, or I'm gonna leave you here to feel stupid. Like, and they do that in like every superhero. It's like the trope of I've beaten you, but I can't kill you because that's the end of the show. It doesn't make sense, but it's not like this show is guilty of it more than any other ever in the history of anything.
I think if he was slightly drained after defeating the Ultra Zord, it was a better out than what they did.
I agree, and I think that's what's going to come up in the next season. I think they're going to talk about how he had just been born, he was super powered up, and then the next season he won't have access to that Morphex tower, and he'll be lower power. And
all right, this is the only thing I can think of where I won't be mad next season. He is a snake, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And snakes are most venomous when they're babies because they can't control the poison that they secrete. If that is the route they're going to go with this
that
power,
makes way too much sense.
I'm perfectly fine with it.
You're not wrong. I think what they're going to do, he is a snake. Well, they're not going to do this either. But snakes molt. And maybe when he goes to his next form, he molts this, and now he's slightly different. They're not going to do either of those things, though, because they have to follow the Sentai, and it just makes too much sense.
Hasbro, feel free to reach out for the DMs either here or on YouTube. We're more than happy to be creative consultants on this show.
We are missing a ton of chat. Let me try to catch it real quick. After you finish...
While he's catching up, thank you guys for being so active in chat.
Yes,
the best problem we can have is us having to scroll up to
Absolutely
see what you guys
agree.
are saying. Love it.
Kyle Goldfinch.
There's no rules. It's finale.
Kyle Goldfinch, after you finish reviewing the episode in 3 months' time, LOL, love to hear your predictions for season 2. Well, we did kind of just talk about that a little bit. Aki Dragu, I thought the Evox destroying the Ultra Zord was great because that's how to show how powerful the bad guy is. Exactly what I said. Thank you.
Yeah.
Matt Kendall Clare, no doubt about it. That Aki Dragu, also agreeing. I think I'm getting some Ninja Steel points here. On the train.
I didn't say I hated that he defeated it. I didn't like how easily he defeated it.
But that made it more dramatic. That's like when a bunch of Sentinels are coming after Magneto and he's like snap and they all fall apart. Anyway, Real Babu says electromagnetic pulse to beat Evox. Maybe so. Kyle Goldfinch, again, steel helmetless. I don't know why, but it annoys me every time. Yeah, none of us really like that.
Yeah. I think because he has shoulder pads in both and it doesn't have any disbelief. You're like, oh, he's just slightly different colored.
Yeah, I didn't even realize he was more in the very first scene. I didn't realize he was morphed at first. Real Babu says the MP takes out Steel as well. Ranger sacrifice to beat the head villain. Steel is part human, as he often likes to say. So I think he can survive it. I think it'd be like the episode where he got hurt, but he could pull through. So I'm fine with that. I don't want Steel to be destroyed. I mean, it'd be very dramatic, but come on, Steel's awesome. Dolly Girl, devoted fan. Other than watching the show through these streams, I still haven't watched an episode of the season. I'm just here to support you guys. Well, thanks, Dolly Girl. I mean, I guess it's good that we go over.
While we're done with season 1, catch up. Based on the reviews we gave, pick and choose which episode you want to watch.
Yeah. So getting back to the episode, they're now like have a moment of reprieve. And again, why didn't Evox just destroy him? Because reasons. And so like, what are we going to do? We've survived. And then Devin runs up, hugs Zoe, gets a hug. So that's 3 hugs. So it's like, oh man, I'm glad you're okay. And even in this horrible place. And again, I love them here. Devin doesn't have his powers and they're beaten. And
Devin
they're like,
still has his cool shirt.
Yeah, he still has his cool shirt. That's important. But like, just, they're so beaten. And then here's Evox and you can see again, I don't know why he thought he was a cat. Maybe I thought those were whiskers in the figure, but it's clearly a skull. And that is kind of cool. There's just too many triangles for my taste. Like maybe in the Sentai they explain it or maybe not, but I feel
very angular.
Yeah. And I guess because actually that's why, because a cobra's head, the hood is kind of like that. So I guess that's what it's supposed to be, but it just doesn't read that way to me. So Cruz had an extra morpher for Devin, so he could morph, which is good. So he morphs up. Very intense face here. I also like, if you look, his jacket is like a little bit scuffed and ripped because he's like been fighting in it. So I thought that was cool. Now they're all morphed up, ready to go. And Evox with one blast doesn't kill them, but knocks them all back, which again is appropriate. And then they demorph. One hit knocks them all down, and they demorph. Appropriate. Yep. You could even argue that the morphing grid always has this like fail safe to protect its users, so they never die, like they lose their ability. So that maybe if he shot them again, they would die, but maybe arguably they're kind of invulnerable for one hit, because we've seen this many, many times where like the most powerful thing hits them and they morph back. And then he does the bad guy thing of like, now that you're taken care of, I'm going to go big and go destroy everything because I'm amazing. Is it dumb? Yep. Yeah. Has it been done a million times before? Yeah. So I'm not going to complain about it. Okay. There's fair. I love this though. They're all talking about like, what are we going to do? And I kind of got a bad screenshot because Devin looks really weird there. But he's like getting ready to punch him way longer than like they all are kind of like this and like, okay, what are we going to do? I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. And the whole time Devin's like, oh, okay, we're talking now. It took him a minute to shift gears, which I thought was kind of funny.
Like a directional error.
Yeah, possibly. So then, I don't know why I took this shot, but moving on. Nate's like, okay, we could try to get back and this and that, but I don't know what we're going to do without the Ultra Zord. And then like, let's split up because Cruz says that the Racer Zord is still working, which again was foreshadowed. So they're like, we're going to split up. Nate's going to go try to stop the Cyber Gate so he can't get back to Earth. Cruz and Devin are going to go get the one working Zord, and everyone else, I forget what they were going to do, just try to get home, I guess. He morphs.
I think, it was something like that.
He morphs again immediately, which is always weird. Sometimes it's like, oh, my morphing energy got used up, I can't morph again, but whatever. So now we see Evox large in the transporter that we usually see Gigadrones going, and Blaze once again like, oh, hurry up and transport him. Why is it taking so long? I'm Blaze! Oh!
Cowboy Blaze.
Words to that effect. But the Racer Zord, you can see him here. He's like, I'm going to go in and try to destroy. This is essentially their Morphex tower. So he's going to try to destroy it, which again will explain why Evox won't be so powered up in season 2 when he comes back to life. Missing so much chat. 3 hugs, 2 Ez, according to Real Babu. Kyle Goldfinch, oh my god, imagine, it won't happen, but imagine Steel's body is like a vessel and then becomes a full human, and then you see the guy who plays Steel becoming a ranger. I don't think that'll happen. That is cool, but they'd have to explain a lot because they would essentially have made a human, which seems like that's some ethical stuff. Well, they also
had somebody who became rubbery and then was fine again, so, magic.
True. Okay. Real Babu, 3 hugs, 3 Ez. Matt Claire, interesting theory, Kyle, but the voice actor or the suit actor? Oh, good point. Real Babu, suit actor, of course. I think we did see the suit actor for Steel in one episode, didn't we? Or was there was one suit actor? Yeah, I forget. Matt Claire, the suit actor, the voice actor would essentially be like the voice of the body as well. Got it. Aki Drago, I think Steel is awesome as half robot. Him becoming full human would not be that interesting. I agree from a story standpoint. I do like the half human Steel. From an actor standpoint, it would be fun to give the actor a chance to be on screen. So maybe this would happen like the last episode, something like that.
Or one thing they could do to make plot holes less big is give him a little like chameleon camouflage kind of device like Nightcrawler used in the X-Men comics.
Oh,
where he looks human all the time, and then it's like, great, we don't need him in the suit all the time.
They did something, if you ever watched the Orville, there's a robot character, and they did something similar to that, where he was like on a holodeck, and he became a human, and they used the actor. So I think it was the voice actor, not the suit actor, though. But regardless. So the Racer Zord's going down, and transforms, and like, we're almost there. I'm like, wait, what's this? And you see this like kind of bat-looking thing, and like, I guess it's a Gigadrone. He lands.
Yep, we're going to need that.
He lands with a very well, yeah. I don't think they've made to figure that. They haven't even made a Gigadrone though. So, and we get this crazy, and it looks so different. It's almost like an Evangelion or something. And this is Blaze in his new evil Zord, and he's like, I've got one too. Maybe this is why he was so impatient. He didn't care about Evox. Excuse me. He didn't care about Evox or any of the other plans. He was just in a hurry to drive his new mech.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
It reminds me of Mazin Kaiser.
Yeah, I could see that.
The wing.
Yeah, and all the extra kind of pieces that just sort of jut out at like interesting angles. So they start fighting, and this fight's pretty cool. It's mostly a sword fight. We cut back, and Tronics show up. And so this, sorry, I misspoke. So this is where they split up. So Nate comes in onto Skrulls. I thought it was cool. He was like a cop. Like he's unmorphed. He's got the gun out, and he's like, freeze, don't move. He's like very, like military, very police, less like, Power Ranger.
Very Silver Guardian.
Yes. And then Skrulls keeps going to move, and he shoots him. Makes sense, but Skrulls did accomplish what he wanted to, seemingly, and then he teleports away. And we see Evox is about halfway teleported now. And I guess it's because he's so powerful or because he's so smart or whatever.
Yeah,
but Gigadrones usually just... Yeah, but usually it's a lot quicker, is my point.
But yeah, I was...
Yeah. So we cut back to the fight between Blaze and Devin, which I think is a lot of fun. The kind of the evil Red Ranger, the good Red Ranger, and it's sort of like the Zoe Ravi fight, which had more emotional impact, but this one is a better action scene. So like if we could get the combo of those two, it'd be great. Yeah.
Quick anecdote. From the screenshot you took, for those of you that like Digimon, Blaze's Zord really reminds Cyberjamon from Digimon Tamers, I think, season 3. He was like dragon-like and dog-like, and he had cool like angular wings, which I enjoyed. But moving on.
I never watched Digimon, so I believe you.
I love Digimon.
I may have seen like an episode of the Digital Monster show, but
just say that you never watched it.
I never watched it. So they both get these sort of anime hero shots, and he fires a gun, which makes sense. But then
people don't win doing that in Power Rangers.
But
there's no rule.
This is the part I was thinking of that might be my least favorite part. Why?
Because we've seen it a million times.
Yes, and it never makes sense. And he uses it to use his sword, even though whatever. I never like this, but why I really don't like it, a big part of the last couple episodes, and in fact the whole season, is teleportation to and from dimensions.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And he just calls in, send it, and we see it teleport, and it's like, what? How? So they could just call their weapons, and it's no big deal. How could they not just? That should not have worked. What would have been awesome if he tried to call it and it didn't come. That would have been awesome. But no, and I just opened my Devin figure, my Lightning collection, and I'm on principle, he is never going to hold the Cheetah Beast Blaster. A, because it shouldn't exist, but even if it did, he would never use it outside the cockpit, and it's stupid, and probably doesn't even shoot anything. But yeah, that really bothered me. A scene I already don't like made worse. So that might be my least favorite part of the whole episode.
Dang, I didn't even think of that, but you're right. That is a huge plot hole.
That aside, this is an awesome shot. The lighting and the cool light up sword, it's great. Really cool. Flies through again, very anime, and then it's like Blaze is like, no, and again I had that moment like I had with Roxy. I'm like, was he really done? And he is. He like starts glitching out, and he goes and he explodes. More cool shots. A lot of great cool shots in this episode and the series, as we've talked about. Meanwhile, Nate is like feverishly trying to stop the gate. And he succeeds right around the time the tower starts exploding, and now of course Devin has to race to get out. So he turns into the racer, and will he outrun the flames? Cruz, we gotta go faster. Of course he makes it. That's fine.
And Power Rangers.
Yeah, and Nate, and Star Wars and everything else. Again, it's just a hero moment. That's fine.
Yep.
Nate did what did you want to happen? Him not make it out?
No,
He's also in the fast Zord. He's driving Cruz in the racer Zord. If anybody's gonna make it out,
it's not that it was bad. It was that was the route they chose to take. Of like, oh, there might be danger, but we really know there isn't. Whatever. Because, like you said, we've seen it a million times, so it was like, it's nothing new. You could have just said he's already there, and then the explosion happened, and I would have felt the same, if not better.
Well, here's the thing. We've seen it a million times. There are kids that this is the first time they've ever seen that.
Don't tell me that this show isn't written specifically for me, guys. That can't be the case. I'm the prime demographic. That's why Hasbro's stealing all my ideas.
Let's check.
I'm a test audience in real time.
In real time.
They air it after it's already done. And a year ago, they shot this, and they went, what does he think? Does he have any ideas? Season 2 already done, but...
Maybe we could just dub some stuff in. Kyle Goldfinch thinks it'd be cool about the steel thing. Aki Dragu says, get Sentinel Knight, give him a crown. That would make a lot of sense.
That'd be kind of cool.
Sentinel, I don't remember who sent. He's from
Overdrive.
I haven't gotten to that part, I guess. Overdrive, I've seen part of, but not all of. Macado, it's astonishing to me how there are
Overdrive comes up all the time.
Overdrive, but also Mystic Force, SPD. Like I have a small gap of knowledge in my Ranger, and it comes up constantly. Like I feel like the people that watch this show, their 4 favorite seasons are Dino Thunder, Overdrive, Mystic Force, and SPD, because those are the ones that come up all the time. It's crazy.
They're some of the best Disney ones in some cases.
Well, I know you love Overdrive, but still,
don't even try. Don't even try
to besmirch your favorite season Overdrive. I won't.
Here's the great news.
Yes.
Time out. When we don't have Beast Morpher episodes to watch, we're gonna be forced to watch Overdrive, and you're finally gonna see why I feel the way I feel.
Maybe it'll convince me. I mean, I don't like Ninja Steel as much as you do, but maybe I'll like Overdrive as much as you do. We'll see.
No, don't even
So
try the Ninja. You can't make the Ninja Steel joke and the Overdrive.
no. I know Overdrive is your absolute favorite, and Ninja Steel is just one you like a lot. I get it. That's fine. But look, we're out of time. We're at an hour. We got to keep going.
Words have no meaning. There's no rules, guys.
Matt Claire says, Aki, I don't think they would have seen. Oh, yeah. Well, I have seen less of it than he has, but neither of us have finished it. Correct. True. Defender about Tamers?
Oh, Digimon Tamers.
Oh, gotcha. Aki Dragu, yeah, Defender is right. Kyle Goldfinch, unrelated. Big Dog, we need more Power Rangers like transformation sequences Digimon like Frontiers.
Ooh, very true.
Okay. Aki Dragu, yeah, I hate it now, Gazbot. I ruined it for you. Aki Dragu, Overdrive is my least favorite season. A lot of people dislike it, but
Thank God, Aki Dragu.
But the Big Dog, he defends it,
Oh, be quiet.
Aki Dragu, I grew up on Disney seasons.
Who are wondering, the Digimon Frontiers reference, there was a 4th season of Digimon that aired where the humans became Digimon and they morphed very similar to Power Rangers.
That's crazy.
It was really cool.
That's okay. It sounds terrible, but if it's cool, then I approve.
The toys are really hard to find, and I think I've only found one ever.
Are they good? Or are they like terrible? Like when they had spaceships that turned into like Luke and Anakin.
No, like it would just be like kind of hero action figures. Gotcha. There's one that's really awesome that's like a super mega combined mode, which is why I like it. Mm-hmm. And apparently it's just a really good toy considering it came out like 15 years ago. But it's also really expensive, which is why I don't own it. And I haven't found it.
Maybe they'll make like a SH Figure Arts version of it? No, probably not.
The more you know. No, they're well past that.
Okay, so Evox is just about re-teleported back in, and we see the explosion of the tower coming, and we get this cool close-up of him, and it's like, oh, what's going to happen? And he just gets wiped out by the explosion, which is, we know he'll probably be back, but it's fine because they've established how powerful he is, and it needed something that powerful to destroy him. And again, how are they going to beat him when he comes back? He's never going to be that guy again. This was a form he had for this one episode, so I'm fine with it. So now they found the gate back to the human world of Nice Human, and they see Ben and Betty, and they're like, okay, this is the right way to go. And everybody starts running through, and it's working out, except, I didn't even notice this, but Robbie's carrying Jack. And then, of course, where's Devin? And the mayor's like, Devin, where's my son? Where's the Red Ranger? I got to go back. What's going on? And he kind of starts walking, and it explodes, and he gets hit with the same backwash energy that Evox got hit with, which is astonishing. I thought he was going to be all like burned and like beat up and stuff, and he's knocked down, but he didn't get that hurt. Now, I understand it was just like a little piece of it that came through the end of the thing, but I still thought he'd be more hurt than he actually was. And then after that, which is actually kind of weird, Devin and Cruz come through. I didn't think of that either. So they were behind the explosion, I guess, even though they were outrunning it earlier. That doesn't make sense. They should have been on the floor. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Okay, well, I didn't think about it the first time, so I give him credit. If you only think about it the second time, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, you're here, son. And it's not a hug, but he kind of gives him a half arm hug. I call it like a half hug. He gives him one of these kind of things. And they move in. Excuse me. And here's Ben and Betty, and Nate's like, guys, you did it. You repaired it. You saved the day. Awesome. Good job. And once again, kind of building them up. And then Betty's like, and like, oh, right, we're not supposed to take them seriously. And somebody said before how she has powers, and he's like, oh, it's just an after effect. We'll get that cleared up. So I don't think she's going to have stretchy powers. I think it was just another gag to bring back the gag from the beginning that is gag. You got nothing to say there?
That's not even the worst part. I'm waiting to explode.
Okay, well, let me catch up on chat real quick. Aki Drago, they had 5 people Sentai team and with an Evil 6 Ranger and everything. That's Overdrive.
For Digimon Tabers.
Oh, Digimon. Okay, gotcha. Matt Clear, it was interesting how when Evox was destroyed, he apparently became like purple data bits. I noticed that too. That is interesting.
Yeah, purple data bits. That's odd.
Devin and his dad hug. That's another hug for the hug counter, which again, appropriate. And Devin beaming at him, all happy, things are worked out. I'm the Red Ranger. Life is going to be so much easier from now on. We just beat the big bad. I might not even be a Ranger. Everything's good. And Ben and Betty, another hug. Hey, good times. I think that's 5 hugs now. Okay.
I think it's even 5 to 5.
5.5 maybe, because I said the half hug. And then we get a call because, since the Blaze avatar is destroyed, the real Blaze wakes up. And so we get this technician going, hey, Blaze is waking up. Cut to final scene. The mayor's there. Everybody's all fine. The real Blaze and Roxy are awake. Everybody's wearing their suits. And the commander's like, you guys did a great job. You've saved, was it Coral Reef?
No.
We keep getting this wrong. You've saved this
Mariner
town.
Bay is Lightspeed Rescue.
You've saved this town.
Coral Bay, maybe? I don't know.
You've saved Coral Bay Reef and Grid Battle Force, and you've sacrificed, and you did it all not just with teamwork, but with friendship. And so I'm going to give you guys some medals. I think you've earned them. And so here we go. And she gives them all medals, and she even gives Steel a medal, which I thought was good, because like if you think about in Star Wars, the big thing was that Han and Luke got medals, and Chewie didn't. And it's like, why? Because he's not fully human. So no, Steel gets the medal, which is appropriate. And then they show the Beast Bots, who are also involved in almost every fight, including the final one. They don't get medals. Isn't Steel kind of a Beast Bot?
He is considered a Beast Bot.
So only Rangers get medals? Like it seemed like give them medals too. Why not? And also there's Blaze and Roxy, which I thought is so weird to see them as like good guys. Like hey, like his hair's all like his hair looks like your hair actually. He must have been wearing a hat in that thing the whole time. And it's just weird to see that. And then Ben and Betty come in. And it's so weird because Betty is. I just remember what your least favorite part is. Benny comes in.
I hate this. Don't even explain it. I hate it so much. All right. The only time we can think of where they're getting legitimate recognition for all the good they've done, and they choose a stupid thing where they need to put her in a blow-up suit for no reason. I don't care if she has the wiggly powers. I don't care what happens. There is no reason they had to tarnish this moment with that stupid joke that they made.
Well, she needed the suit for the wiggly powers.
No,
so...
I hate it. I'm so angry. When I saw that, I legit stopped paying attention.
You know what's terrible though is I don't think this is as bad as when they did it on Ninja Steel. But the one episode of Ninja Steel, well, the two-part that we reviewed where they crossed over Sheriff Skyfire, had the joke where Monty and whatever.
Blueberry.
Yeah, and it was a big blueberry suit. So when she came out, I'm like, oh my god, they've done like the blueberry suit again. But they do explain it that she's in it for healing, which might sound dumb, but they gave it a line.
Stupid.
That helps.
They shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have done it.
Then there's like, okay, we're gonna give you medals. Their dad's crying, he's proud of him, that's all good. Here comes the medal. They do a close up. I like that Nate's like, no, wait, don't, tries to stop it, but you can't stop the hijinks and tomfoolery. There's some face acting. She's flying around.
We're still in a 2-shot.
Oh, damn, sorry.
It's okay.
I was so okay. So there's them. There's the dad crying. Close up of the pin. Pops. There's the face acting. She's flying around. That's a weird shot with the light overhead. Very cartoony. I do like that he's like, I'll catch you, and he catches her, and they don't fall. Usually that results in more hijinks. So he actually did just save her. And again, I'm with you. I didn't like this bit, but
I hated it.
But she's like, that was awesome. I want to do it again. Best reaction. It softens the blow of an otherwise unlikable scene.
It really doesn't. They slap us in the face with this unwanted joke and then go, good job.
It bothers me more the Cheetah Beast Blaster part, because we've seen not great comedy from Ben and Betty before. These two moments are not the worst I've seen out of the whole show. I don't like them, but I think they're both not great. And I think the Cheetah Beast Blaster is a serious moment that's supposed to make sense, and so that bothers me more. This is comedy I don't particularly like. But I'm with you. It is this. I will agree. This one is worse than the first one because it's supposed to be a serious moment where they're getting recognition. So I'll say Cheetah Beast Blaster, then this, then the part in the beginning. Those are my 3 least favorite scenes in that order. Then we cut to the mayor and we see purple in his hand, glowing because of the purple bits, and we're like, oh, he might not know what's wrong, but something's wrong, and hopefully he doesn't go the route of every zombie movie when someone gets bit and doesn't tell them. Hopefully maybe he doesn't tell his son, but maybe he tells the commander or Nate or somebody.
He's not going to tell anybody.
I know, but he should.
He's going to be slowly corrupted and, similar to his son, start acting irrationally. And go, something's up with him, and then eventually, all the above.
Well,
then eventually becomes full-blown Evox.
I think there'll be some let's talk about Dino Thunder now that I'm actually watching it, some of that sort of dynamic with the father who's sort of
Mesogog?
Mesogog. So they take a nice selfie, which I thought was kind of fun and cool, and everybody's in it except for the mayor because he's busy looking at his evil hand. And that is the end of Beast Morphers season finale, season 1. I think it was good. I think the lead up to it was a little bit better, but that's kind of to be expected. I need to go, so quick catch up on chat, and then we're gonna have to say our goodbyes.
Sounds good. People agree with me. Kyle Goldfinch, namely won in all caps. I appreciate that. Matt Kendall Clare thinks the B spot should have also gotten medals. We all agree. Akidragu agrees with me. This made me livid. Thank you. I'm not the only one. Matt Claire said that I went off the handle. Very true. How many as in a rant? At least 2.
No, that still would be 1 per rant. You can't be like,
beyond, I guess it's beyond an eh.
Yeah, it is. A rant is beyond an eh. So I don't even know we have.
Akidragu, I would have liked it better, but it was not appropriate. Agreed. Erzuki said we can't see the screenshots.
Oh, that was from before.
Fix it. You're welcome, Ninja Steel. Matt Claire saying hello. Akidragu, it's not the worst, but it wasn't appropriate. Erzuki said hello. I come bearing the good news that our pizza is on the way.
Which is why I have to go. Yay!
Matt Claire, that's good news. I'm sure the bot needs food for energy.
I need
Very
food.
True. We might need a Big Dog Knowledge Zone soon. I also agree. Those are always wanted. Dolly Girl saying hi, and everybody's exchanging pleasantries. Kyle Goldfinch saying, with all you, what will you guys be revealing?
Reviewing. Well, we're gonna do the Christmas episode, which I think is next week, unless they pushed it back, right? But we also talked about doing vintage Christmas episodes as well. So that's likely the next 2 shows. After that, who knows? But we've been doing lots of stuff. We don't have trouble filling in. One last thing I'll say before I go, I got a new pickup. I did a toy show this weekend selling toys and art. Usually I do it with the big dog. He couldn't make it.
Jealous.
And I was trying to be good and not buying anything, but I did get this guy. It's the vintage Predazord. Now he doesn't have the tail for the alligator, but otherwise he's in pretty good shape. And I love him so much. He might be the Zord I most wanted. Like, I don't have every Zord, but of the ones I didn't have, I think he might be the last one I really wanted beyond just completion or a good deal. Like, I always loved his design. And I liked Zanaku, and I liked Merrick and the whole thing. And so he's really cool looking. I'm happy to have him on my shelf.
If you have buyer's remorse, I will happily buy it off you for $10 less than you paid.
Yeah, the only way out of buyer's remorse is if I found one in better condition. That's the only way.
I'm hoping for that now, just so we each have one.
Oh, Real Babu says 5 hugs, 6 as, based on the as and disappointing scenes. So a little bit more as, but just barely, because I also said there was a half hug before, so I think it's 5.5 for 6. So you win, you get a Ninja Steel point.
Ninja Steel.
And then Matt Claire says Christmas episode is this Saturday, so assuming there isn't a conflict of schedule, which I don't think there is, we'll be back Monday doing the Christmas episode.
I'm good for Monday. The following Monday, the 23rd, unfortunately, I am not.
We might skip a week because of the holidays anyway, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back. And if you follow the Facebook group or my Instagram or whatever, we always give updates. Predazord Awakened, yes. And Erzuki has given us some awesome cats. Kyle Goldfinch giving us some love. Thank you very much. We're going to go. We'll be back next week with the Christmas episode and then holidays. So.
Well, he has been.
Gazbot.
I have been the big dog. And thanks, you guys, for a full season of Beast Morphers with us. Yeah. We will see you on the flip side, on that side, and as always,
to the power. And
see you guys later.
Credits! Remember last week when we talked about the end credits?
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Now look, you're wearing a hat this time.
If there's one thing I've learned from Beast Morphers is that if a joke doesn't stick the first time, do it again and again and again and again. Physical humor is always the best. We might see it here and...
I poked you! I made a face. Hey, let's, maybe I'm just gonna... Okay, what? Oh, step in blue.
Who knows?
I'm a cartoon. All right, bye, everybody.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep.